What is happening, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of Why Did I Buy a Mini Truck? Today what we're going to be doing is some work back here. We do have our axle out. All the four links are off. Got both of the lower four link brackets installed already. They're nice and strong, which is exactly what I want. I am on the fence about possibly gusseting the outsides. Nothing too crazy, but just maybe something else, maybe two more points on each side that actually contact the frame as well as the lower mount. You know, it's nothing too crazy, but maybe something that just kind of comes from here and just goes up. Something that comes from here and goes up on each side. Just to give it that extra little bit of strength. We're also going to come through, double check all the stuff back here. Pretty much going to hit this whole back end with a wire wheel and a flapper disc tonight and get it all ready to be primed. There are a couple spots here that I noticed last time I was in here. I feel like this stuff is just flaking off. Frame looks good though all the way around, so probably just clean that up and see what we can kind of work in that area. Looks like there is like a little reinforcement piece here, but maybe we can add to that or something. We're also going to be taking a look at the rear axle assembly. I'd like to also check the welds on all the ears for the four link, reinforce any areas that we can, make sure there's no fractures or anything in the welds that are there. You know, just make sure they're nice and strong. Another thing we're going to be doing today, because I did receive the paint that we're going to be painting the truck with, and it did not disappoint. So what I want to do, part of the reason we're going to be working on the back frame there and getting it all wire wheeled and cleaned up and making sure it's good to go is because we're hopefully going to prime it tomorrow or the next day. And then we'll get it sprayed black in preparation for spraying the rest of the truck. So we're going to mask off from this ear to this ear. We're going to go all the way back on the frame. We're going to go way down into the firewall. And then this way we can just make sure that this is all good to go to get sprayed with that new top coat. I'm so excited. I also want to do something down here. So these rockers that are under here, that's my little emergency switch. My little rockers that are under here, what I'd like to do is maybe mask off maybe like from here down and just bed line it. I don't know. Some of the paint that's there is kind of flaky and it looks like it's been hit a couple times. So we'll kind of see what we can do with that. We do also need to weld on new 1-inch strips underneath the frame. And that a couple reasons for that. One, it will help strengthen, the frame underneath. But also, when we air out all the way, it lays frame. So I'd like it to maybe lay on something that's not a straight frame. There are some there. It looks like some of them got ground off Dragon. So, it's a consumable, right? So it's something you got to replace every once in a while. We're going to do the same thing under here since, unfortunately, this was welded on previously at some point in its life. We're actually going to get the Roadie Fab kit that puts a little plate under there and it bolts right in. We're going to do that. It's going to be fantastic. And then we also have some cool custom front and rear, I want to call them bash bars because essentially they are what you would find on like a 240. But we're going to adapt them to work with the truck. Now we will still be able to have the regular bumper fascia that comes here, the steel bumper, aluminum bumper. But what it'll allow me to do, since this truck does not have a parking brake, and it will never have a parking brake unless it's a hydro, what this does is this makes it legal to actually be on the road, since it will then have a frame brake. When we air the truck out, it will lay on these posts. There'll be 2 posts in the front, 2 posts in the back, probably just after the fuel cell. And what it'll be is it'll be completely hidden. However, when you go to air the truck out, the truck will lay on those and the frame at the same time. And what it does, it just ensures that the truck won't move. If a portion of the truck is on the ground and another portion isn't, to prevent any sliding or anything like that. I don't know. I just want to eliminate all the chances. Plus, they could also double as a jack point, which would be very cool. I was originally considering doing an air jack setup on this, which would be way out of the budget for the truck and completely unnecessary. But I thought that if anything ever were to happen with the air suspension, it would be a very convenient way to get the truck up, which is another reason why I want to go ahead and do those frame brakes essentially on the front and the rear. And they're not even going to be like static. I'd like to make them so that you can position them at different heights, like maybe 3 or 4 heights. But what that'll do is, say, for example, a bag goes out, the truck lays frame, or something happens and the truck's aired out completely, you could essentially raise the post in the rear or the front of the truck so you could get a jack under it. And then you could then jack up the truck since you wouldn't be unable to do that on the frame. I guess you could try to climb under there and do something at the axle, but if you were working on the bags, it seems a lot more convenient. Anyway, getting ahead of myself. Today what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mask this stuff off here. We're going to go ahead and prep the back here. I got the GoPro over here. I'm going to try to set you guys up while we're cutting and grinding and wire wheeling and doing all that fun jazz back here. I'm not going to film masking off the stuff in the front. So I hope you guys enjoy. This video is not going to be super duper long. I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes for this one, so it's not a huge deal, but we'll kind of see what happens. So stay tuned. All right, so we got the frame all masked off up here. Went from each side of those ears in the front for the bumper and went ahead and wrapped it all the way back. And then back here, went ahead and ground down some of the previous welds that were here and went ahead and laid some new beads in here. I did just go ahead and throw a little coat of primer on this. We are going to be bed lining this portion of the frame back here. I don't really want to have to like strip it all the way down, so let's clean it up with a wire wheel, hit it with a flapper disc, and it is just like coated in this bed liner from who knows how long ago. So instead of burning through a bunch of flapper discs, what we're going to do is we're going to come through here. I'll wire wheel it all up. Maybe I'll go pick up a couple more abrasive discs. Right now all I have is 120 grit, and that's not going to cut it. So what I think we're going to do back here is we're going to rough it all out, finish making some cuts that we have to do, and then we are going to just bed line this portion. And then what we'll do is actually on the links themselves, we'll go ahead and coat these in the black, and we'll do the clear effects on that similar to the frame up front. We still might go ahead and clear FX this portion here, but we are not going to be doing that on the C-notches or the rest of the frame. There's really no need to. You're only really going to see that part and the bar that runs across anyway for the shock, so I ain't super worried about it. Now that all that stuff's done, I'm going to call it a night, but tomorrow we're going to come back out here and we're going to finish cleaning up those ears. These ones here seem plenty strong. It's the ones on the axle that I want to take a closer look at. And then hopefully this weekend we'll be spraying the truck, and I'm super excited to tell you guys what the color is, but you're just going to have to wait for that video because I want to do like a Hot Boy YouTube reveal on it, like, hey, this is what it could be, and show it all gray, and then boom, color, there it is. So Appreciate everybody watching. Hope you guys have an excellent day. Continue to grind on those projects, and until the next video, peace.